talk with you at this time is all about your spirit. You do have a spirit. It is the soul. It is the integral part of you. Your body is a vehicle for carrying that soul in your lifetime. And you have a mental body, and you have a physical body, and you have a spiritual body. Many of you think that the spiritual body is a very high, exalted energy, but it is not. There are many people in the world today who use their higher self and are not even what is termed to be spiritual. What is the higher self? The higher self is compassion, is understanding, non-judgmental, and it does not make fun of anybody else. It does not lie. It does not cheat. It doesn't have to, because it has all of the answers. The self part of you is a different matter. And most of humanity live in the self. It is only when you come home to our world, to your true home, that you get to see what the self has done to you in your incarnation or life. It is so easy to listen to the self. Don't do that, because this may happen. What if it doesn't work? What if somebody doesn't like it? Oh no, the self says, your mother won't like that. And if you are very attached to your mother, you don't want to hurt her, and so you don't do it. Each one of you is separate to each other. Even twins don't have the same personality. Most twins are opposites of each other. One quiet, the other loud. But the thing is, everybody is different altogether. Everybody is not the same. How do you know what your neighbor or your friend or your husband has come to learn? You don't, unless you have their natal birth chart, which is a chart of when they were born. And you are an astrologer or an interpreter of the natal chart, the birth chart. And so one person has come to learn a lesson of, say, compassion, and another has come to learn something else. And so the compassionate one is compassionate, gives all they have to compassion. The other one says, what a waste of energy. What a waste of doing it. Because why should people have compassion? But you see, that is what the person has come to learn. I have an interesting story of my channel who considered her son to be very selfish. And she thought that from when he left home and went into his career until she became an astrologer. And she was studying his chart one day of when he was born. And through her interpretation, and she consulted a few more people as well, she found to her surprise that he came to be selfish. He came not to share. And she found out also that he had been a Buddhist monk in a past life and had shared everything he had, even his begging bowl. He had never married, never had children. He had wandered the earth plane with his begging bowl. He had never endured or experienced life as most people do with a wife and children, etc. And he gave everything he had to the poor. He ended his life the same as he was, with nothing. But in this incarnation, he chose to go through a normal life. He chose to have a wife and to have children. But he chose also to be selfish. It was time for him to have something for himself. And that was why he was the way he was. Yes, he was selfish, but he was meant to be. Margaret, before she became an astrologer, before she became what many call enlightened, could not see that. All she could see was the self and his selfishness. And yet it was meant to be. It was his life lesson. And so, how do you know what the person with you has got to learn? Here in this country of India, where my channel lives at the present time, it is very common for parents to interfere in their children's lives. And the children obey their parents. So many marriages are arranged which should not be. And many experiences are not experienced by the children because the parents interfere and say no to what they wish to do. It is common practice. And yet, the parent and the child have a different birth or natal chart. They are both of them here to learn their lessons, nobody else's. Do not, if you can help it, interfere in another's life. Their life lessons are not yours, and yours are not theirs. They are not meant to do what you want them to do, even though you do it out of safety, security, or because you just want to see them do something with their life. If humanity understood the individuality of each soul, it would be a different world. You cannot force anyone to do anything. They have to be ready to do it. You cannot force anyone to change, because if you do, you interfere with their destiny. Thank you.